I actually got my start at MTV, which is where I feel like a lot of people, it's like your internship when you're doing unscripted or live television. So to get over the hurdle of being a host into the acting world was a journey, and now having to casting is another adventure. And so this happened really organically because last summer, during quarantine, AMC didn't have any programming to put on. My husband works on an AMC show from our garage, and it was supposed to be a really lighthearted event. And very quickly, the subject matter in our public conscience in town and other castmates and friends we've collected along the way started having very tough conversations in a loving, empathetic manner. And so when a murder happened in our small town, a number of people in our community came to me and said, can you talk about it? Can you do anything about this? And they said, well, do you one better? Like, can it be a serial? For, you know.
Well, I can answer. Times happen. And not that it doesn't have an impact in a big city, of course, yes. In a small town.
Of carrying these people's causes to a larger. 2 weeks, there was a case where a very young mother in Florida was found dead in her boyfriend's home. A gunshot wound, to the medical examiner. Her boyfriend was a cop, collected, and a lot of issues with that case to uncover a lot of this material that was kind of swept under the rug. And so going to talk to these people and give them the platform to get the information out there is really important.
And
you guys look beautiful. Kelsey,
Yeah.
tell me your thoughts
on this now. No, I just love what this symbolizes. I think that our apocalyptic, so if we have reached the phase where we care about a romance between like our big pop star and our really good football player, like give me all the warm, fuzzy, nice things that just feels nice. So yeah, get married, have babies, it'll be great. Yeah, I really, I was a fish out of water there, and I needed to be able to do tangible things with my hands. So by moving to this farm and having my personal life be all about these tangible goals, like building things, fixing things, painting things, I felt better about it. Live and learn, right?
Some blonde left in there.
Yeah, we're growing it all out, which it's a weird thing when you were a teen drama actress, and it's a, you know, the expectation to be 17 forever is out there, and I didn't necessarily like my younger years. I felt I dealt with some dark stuff in my younger years, and so this idea that you can level. So a grimoire is historically a book that a woman would keep, and she would add to it throughout the course of her life, and it was the life-saving knowledge that she needed to take care of herself and take care of her community and her loved ones. And women were persecuted for having these things. So even just naming the book this is an act of rebellion. Went out with Harper One. And I feel like this is a time in our country where we need to take some of that energy back and be loud and proud about it. And so in writing this grimoire, I was able to address a number of the things that got me through my 20s and my 30s and add really like lighthearted, simple spells in there to show that you're already working magic in your own life. You just have to wake up to it and recognize it. But then also talking about some dark stuff. We all just went through a really dark period together as a country, and maintaining dark is a really important life skill. So
it's resilience.
Well, one of the... And he had just adopted his son, and so we were new parents together. And I had just come back to Manhattan, and so as new parents, we would go out in the city together and just like be each other's comfort zone. And, oh, I'm gonna cry. And so honoring him in this book felt really important. And I think, obviously, when I started writing the book, I didn't know we were gonna lose him, but you know, being able to honor him in this way felt really important because he is written on the pages of my grimoire. I am different because of that influence. We're growing it all out.
Hilarie Burton-Morgan is loving her hair exactly as is. When the One Tree Hill alum joined the latest episode of The View, she opened up about embracing her gray tresses. Hilarie said that she was in the midst of phasing out her blonde color and going totally gray, and she explained her mindset behind it, sharing how it was all about the joy of aging.
It's a weird thing when you were a teen drama actress, and it's a, you know, the expectation to be 17 forever is out there, and I didn't necessarily like my younger years. I felt I dealt with some dark stuff in my younger years, and so this idea that you can love.
Hilarie recently reflected more on her hair journey in an essay for New Beauty magazine. And so I let it go, all of it. The idea of trying to hold on to a youthful version of myself didn't make any sense. I wasn't respected in my youth. It wasn't some golden era of my life. It was trial and error, and more error. It was experimentation. Hilarie continued, as my silver grew in, I liked how I looked, perhaps for the first time. I liked what it did to my eyes and skin tone. I liked other women reaching out, pleased to have someone to virtually hold hands with as they shed their own dye. I liked that I was free. And so, I don't begrudge anyone hanging on to their version of beauty, even if it's fabricated youth. But my version of beauty is the power of this next phase, what comes after youth. More pleasure, less pleasure.
When something traumatic happens, everybody knows about it. Was that someone that you knew?
Yeah.
Impact you personally?
Well, I was shocked. I don't know of anybody who ever had enemies in the county.
Creator, producer, and the host of this series. And this show sparked your interest in this field.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up outside of D.C. and everybody's
talking
parents.
about this,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody's parents work for the government or for the military, and so there's a family business mentality. Like, you're going to catch bad guys, you're going to be of service. And when I moved to New York, I was going pick me up off the street. You know?
Different tack.
Yeah, awesome. But that doesn't mean that my concern about our judicial system ever went away. And so when I moved to my small town in the Hudson Valley and became concerned about some cases that were happening in other small towns.
Wow. Interested in this for a very
You know what you're doing. You're selling commercial time. And the idea that we have turned the worst day of someone else's life into entertainment is really difficult. And the families don't ever get to turn the channel. And so if we can take the true crime genre that we know people are drawn to and turn it into advocacy, if we can say, hey, there's a problem here, all of you at home, join us, we could potentially fix a wrongful conviction, a corrupt government official. Like, we have the potential to work together and make a real difference. That's what our show strives to do.
You're really flipping the stories of these communities.
I think I thought corruption was maybe like being like, this doesn't sit well with us. If you want to be elected, you have to prove to us that you're doing your job.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. Like, he is the Anderson Cooper of his school at this point. He joined the school newspaper squad.
Oh, is he?
He's doing some very hard-hitting journalism.
Okay.
There was a group of kids who were selling Prime energy drinks, and this is like taboo in middle school. And he uncovered this like black market at the school and wrote an article about it. And he used a picture of Bryan Cranston from
Breaking Bad.
holding a Prime energy can, and it's like in the little middle school paper.